Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm really excited because we're actually doing things a little different today on the Doctor Series. And I'm excited because we actually have a scientist coming on our show today. And she's doing some really inspirational things within the PPE world. And I'm just very excited to have her on today. And so I hope I don't butcher her name, but it is a long one. But we have the CEO and founder of AmorSui, Beau Wangtrakuldee.
You
And
got it right the
yes,
first
it's like
time.
been practicing this. So I'm very excited to have you on here today and learn more about your company. And I know that I had read on your website that you actually launched your company because you had your own accident that happened within the lab. Can you share with us a little bit more about that and your story as to why you launched your company?
Absolutely, Samantha. So in my past life, I've been a PhD chemist for over 10 years. And my role was focusing on discovering a new treatment for infectious disease and also in cancer. So you think about, making the drugs, tasting the drugs that it works well before it go and get tests in patients. And one day that I was making, what could become anti-cancer drugs, I had a chemical spill on myself. And at the time, I have a lab coat on. I was dressed properly. I have t-shirt and jeans, and it covered from the neck to toe. But the chemical burned through my lab coat, soaked through my pants, and burned my legs.
Oh, wow.
And the combinations of things working with, just from a chemical perspective, it could potentially make my heart stop. So I was pretty lucky to not only recover from that, but just only have bad burn for 2 weeks. And once something like that happens to you, you kind of change perspective of how, personal protective equipment, in this case, my lab coat, if it works well, it could be between, the life and death for many people that now during COVID-19. So I went and looked for products in the market that I could put on myself so I can feel safer to go back to work again. And I just found that options for, women's sizes and aesthetic are really limited, especially for someone who are in a professional setting, in a healthcare and R&D setting like myself, to have something to not fit well, but also look professional. There's just not that much product out there. And that's kind of sparked my interest in 2018.
Wow, that's such an inspirational story, and I'm so glad you were able to recover from that. And I know that you actually sell like quite a number of different products. And I went to your website, and I know that we're talking about protective gear here, but I think they're pretty fashion forward. So, how did you come up with the designs for some of the elements that you do offer on your site? And tell us more about your offerings.
So all of our design are actually came from the feedback from the scientists, and now we expand our line to the medical and healthcare field as well. So we're talking to a lot of doctors and physicians who are working on a regular basis. In the beginning, we actually survey over 100 women in STEM, some that are even in the medical fields, scientists that tell us, the type of work gear that they would like to wear, things that they would like to wear to work, things that they wish they have in the lab that are also protective, but also look professional as well. And what we found is that women likes to have something that not only fit well, look professional, classically professional, can be mixed and matched together, but comfortable to wear and be protective at the same time. So like those ideas were the original is to put together a capsule that you can put together and mix and match for 5 days, 7 days of the week, wear to work for 12 hours, and you don't have to think about it because it's feel good, it looks good. And then if you have an accident, it protects you.
I think that's very inspirational. And obviously, you launched your company in 2018, but now with COVID-19 happening in the pandemic, I know that your business has pivoted quite a bit. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so originally, since 2018, as I am a scientist, I just feel like, there's a lot of perspective for myself to be able to give to women in STEM. I mean, some of our products, even the beginning of earlier on in the company could be applicable to healthcare as well. But now during COVID-19, with the focus of PPE shortage, and then also, PPE that does not, fit women really, like especially the gown, the face mask, and other things. It really pivot us to use our textile innovations, our resources, and our partner to really, put heads together to create a product that fit women, and be applicable to a healthcare space as well, especially because disposable PPE had caused a lot of waste over during this time. If you don't know, globally, we spent and throw away 240 tons of disposable gowns, gloves, and whatnot every day, and that is a lot of waste. So we have used a lot of what we know to create reusable product that could be reused over time, wash up to 100 times for our gown, create sizes that fit women. There's up to 5 sizes instead of standard 1 size fit all or 2 size fit all. And then also, more protective, and, looks great and cost saving in the long run as well.
Absolutely. And what has been the response in terms of your company so far?
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, what has been the response? How have women in STEM reacted to having these products now available to them?
Oh, it's been great. And we continuously work with women scientists, and we get reached out by people even earlier in the development. I have scientists from Australia, I have scientists from all over the world that reach out. And I just want to backtrack a little bit. In the beginning, we did a pre-sale even before we have any product on hand. We did a crowdfunding campaign in 2018 to raise funding for the first production. And we pre-sold our product to do that first production. And there were, women scientists, not only just US, but globally, that buy from us.
I think that's amazing. And I also read on your website that you, some of your manufacturing companies that you work with as well, they're 100% women-led. So tell me why it's so important for you to be an advocate for women who are scientists, who are in STEM, who are within the healthcare field. Why are you so passionate about that?
So, entrepreneur myself, running my own business is really get me in tune of, fundraising, how could I grow my company, and things like that. And I learn a lot about the financial gap that woman has, whether that is a fundraising, getting loans or something from the bank, only 2 to 3% of VC money actually go to women. That's a statistic. And with women with color and minorities, that's 0.5, not even. And that just kind of gives you a really broad perspective of how hard it is for women to run a business and grow the business in the long run. And because we know that as a company, we consciously make effort to seek out partners who are experienced, who are high quality. They're great in everything that they do. It just happened that they are female-owned, female-led companies that, some opportunities is not opening up to them. And what had caused us to work so great with them, because they're such a great partner. They're willing to give without looking at the profit first. And that really helped us, as a small company, because we always deliver on our high quality without, going over budget, because they're just willing to work with us.
Absolutely. And where do you see your company in 5 years from now? Do you feel that you guys are going to continue to expand, and that due to obviously unfortunate circumstances of the pandemic, this has really kind of put your company on the map?
Yeah, so there's one component that I haven't touched on at all today. So reusable PPE has been in the market for quite some time, especially in the medical field. And recently, because of PPE shortage, and also rise in the cost of disposable PPE, the FDA actually have conservation strategy of implementing reusable products. And this is why we create a product to make available in women's sizing, and have that potency to protect them against, infections and whatnot. But it's still hard for hospital to implement reusable PPE because it's really hard to track life cycle, how many times it washes, when do we have to be throwing it away, when do we have to reorder again? It's not like you wear it once and you throw it away like disposable. So We actually develop mobile applications that help hospital track all those information. So like life cycle tracking, wash tracking, and then they get notifications to reorder through us again. Not only that, it prevents them to, like have any mismanage of the PPE. So you always have, PPE that works every time.
Mhm.
But it also great in terms of quality, quality control in general. So like you don't have things torn or things like that, like coming back to physicians or healthcare professionals. So I think in the long term, we're looking at ourselves as a company to not only think innovatively about different type of products and textile that are comfortable and aesthetic that people like to wear, but also like using data and technologies to really drive that process, to make PPE available to all and everyone is safe.
Absolutely. And I know there has been some misconceptions in terms of whether or not you can actually catch COVID-19 from your clothing. Can you share a little bit more about that, or do you have any insights regarding that?
You could cut COVID-19
Like
from your
through your
clothing.
clothing, yeah.
There is some study that shows that COVID-19 could live on plastic or textile
Mhm.
for different amount of hours, depending on the type of textile that you use. And that's one of the reasons why all of our product line have antimicrobial and anti-fungal properties to it, because most likely, like those same type of property would be applicable to antiviral as well. Because it's different on the different surfaces, the COVID-19 could be active for a certain amount of time.
Yes, absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your story and your journey to launching your company that you would like to share with our audience today, and maybe other women who are looking to you for some inspiration?
Um, Within my own journey myself, I would say that if you would like to explore or going after the ideas that you have, I would take small step toward that goal every day. It's been a long journey for me already. I feel like this is coming up to 3 years. We have made a lot of progress, but it's been a little baby step at the time. The second piece to that, I just would like to encourage everyone to check our website, or visit us on social media, and like help us, like tell people more about us, and just to make sure that our products is getting adopted, or women know that this product available. I like to give you one example. We developed fire resistant hijab, the first of its kind to be available for Muslim women scientists and people in healthcare. And I would like the word to get to them that this type of product to protect them from any harm.
Absolutely. And share your website with us so we can make sure that we check you out.
Yes, so it's www.AmorSui Clothing, AmorSui Clothing.com. And AmorSui came from Latin, means self-love. So we made our products for women to put on themselves, feel good, and then, are protected at the same time. And our social media handles are AmorSui Clothing. At Twitter, we on Instagram, we on Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere.
That's awesome. You got to promote yourself. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today. And I think you're just such a, inspiration for women everywhere. And I really want to say that I am very encouraged by what you're doing. And I think other women will be as well. So thanks for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you so much for, getting the words out there for us.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.